Alrighty, episode 8 of the Third and 10 podcast. What's going on, boys and girls? I'm Nate. That's Brian here. My co host is always to my right. Happy Monday to y'all. We hope you guys are doing well. And, let's see. We are past the first week of May, sort of, technically. Right? Do you
Kind
count?
of.
Kind of.
Yeah.
This is
We
like
can
the
have.
first official week.
Yeah, it's first official week, but yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Mhm.
How was your weekend, good sir? I know you celebrated Star Wars Day like we talked about last week. How was that?
Very fun. Very fun, of course. Had the final. Got the final done. So done with college. Passed everything. We're just waiting to graduate right now. But so Star Wars Day, a lot of fun. We just we wait now, which is why you currently find me sitting in a car. Because I do no longer have access to the studio I've been using. So my room has no Wi-Fi, so we sit in a Volkswagen in the middle of a college parking lot.
Beautiful. This will be your studio for today and Thursday's episode. So for those of you watching on YouTube,
This week episodes will be in the car. Next week we'll be back in my room at my house in where I'm from.
we'll call it your home studio per se.
Yeah, we'll do my home studio. For right now, it's a makeshift right now.
Fair enough. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed your weekend. I would say I did the same. So myself seeing I don't know, the New York Knicks moving on to the second round. We saw the Rangers, I believe, won last night, if I'm not
Rangers
mistaken.
won last night, 1-0, 1-0 up in that series on Carolina. Looked unbelievable last night. So 11 more wins.
Yes, sir. The New York teams are once again, showing their stuff right now in the postseason. And then the Mets, how are they doing before we dive into
They
our
lost
Giants?
again.
The
They
City
lost.
Connect.
Sneaker neck jerseys are not bad. They're not bad. They're average. But
Fair
I would
enough.
have gone differently with it.
I'd rate it like a 6 out of 10. It doesn't look that bad, but it could use some improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me too much of a Yankees jersey.
With like the stripes and everything.
Yeah, and the grayish. I would have done it with like a white jersey. It would say Queens on the front of it. It would have like a purple number. That's what I would have done.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Mhm.
Other than that, though, thankfully we'll see New York team succeed, and hopefully we'll see the same for our Giants, as they will be a
Hopefully.
topic of today's show. As always, we'll talk about Dave Gettleman. He's recently made headlines as of yesterday. We'll also talk about rookie quarterback situations, and we'll end the show with winners and losers from the Giants' off-season moves of 2024, because it seems like they're pretty much done
Yeah.
adding notable players per se
Hmm.
for the roster. So we'll dive into
Definitely.
that as well. So first off, let's start with First Down, our first segment of the day. First Down is presented by SeatGeek. Use the code BELLYUPSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Concerts, the comedy shows, sporting events, as always. The NBA playoffs are going on as well. Baseball season still going strong. And SeatGeek is the best place to get your tickets. So use the code BELLYUPSPORTS for $20 off your first order. Now, first order of business, right? Dave Gettleman. You would think the man
Be in hiding.
be hiding after his debacle of a run as a GM.
Hmm.
But we have to realize that this man, for some reason, wants to continue to make his name known.
He got an ego like I've never seen before.
It's like you just mentioned, don't you want to just not be in the spotlight after what he did to this franchise?
Yeah. One of the proudest franchises in the NFL has been around since the NFL started. The premier flagship football team that you've made a complete laughing stock with how bad of a GM you were. I would want to stay quiet too.
Sure, I would, but apparently
Dave,
he,
Dave though.
yeah, apparently he didn't want to listen to any people who said, "Hey, maybe don't make the headlines." Well, he did. So basically, as we mentioned, he made the news for the first time in a while. As we all know, he retired in January of 2022. Apparently, he has an issue with the analysts that cover the sport of football. According to an article I read, he said, "quote I finally broke down and subscribed to the Athletic. I am one of those people. I've done this before. It's actually $1 a month, by the way. So this is not an ad to them.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I mean, $1 a month to read as like many articles that they release, they're pretty good. Like I like
Mm-hmm.
them. You know,
Yeah.
outside of Belly Up Sports, if there was one company I would read articles from, it's the Athletic. But that's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is, he talked about that, and he said he did it because it was $1 a month, but it's basically like everything else. You got this guy giving away team grades, but you've got to be kidding me. Who are you? What have you done? What have you put your nuts on the line? But sadly, you got owners listening to these clowns and even GMs listening to these clowns as well. End quote. I would, if I start, I'm gonna go crazy.
It
So
takes a clown to know a clown.
I agree. But before I go, what do you think of this whole? As small as an event it is kind of a big deal because, well, it's
It
Dave Gettleman.
just it shows to me how tone deaf Dave Gettleman is and is continued to be throughout his NFL tenure and throughout his, post NFL life. Like, this is a guy that sure was given a retirement ceremony, but he didn't deserve one at all. This is a man that, you know, constantly was giving away, trying to build an old school style football team in a forever changing world. It wasn't going to work. Drafting a running back first overall, ignoring pass rusher for years, drafting a quarterback because you like three drives them in the Super Bowl and in the Senior Bowl, and you completely reached on him. Signing washed up guys you had in Carolina and Arizona doesn't work. All right, so his method didn't work. So I don't know what he's talking about. What do they don't know? What do you know, Dave Gettleman? All right, because everyone agrees the Giants are in the state they are because you mismanaged them so horrifically badly. All right, so maybe you should get a job for the Athletic because you probably know the same amount as you do.
Are you finished, or is there more?
That's pretty much it.
Okay, well, I got some stuff for you.
Go.
Okay, so not to brag, I recently got accepted at a position at Pro Football Focus. Shout out to them. Uh, Shout out to Belly Up and you, of course, Brian, for helping me out throughout the way. I'm excited to
Of
start with
course.
them
Happy to.
in a couple weeks, training with them, and I'll be collecting data for the company. And once the
Nice.
season starts, that's where all the fun begins, watching games and collecting, looking at the little things in life and all that stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not bringing that up just to brag about it. I bring it up because of this. I don't think I know everything. I
Right.
think
Yeah.
that's clear.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, if I did know everything, I wouldn't go 19-46 as a GM. During Gettleman's tenure as the Giants GM, the Giants never had a winning record whatsoever. Oh, and by the way, remember when you said you're gonna fix the O line and, you know, bring back old fashioned football? You made it worse.
You really
You
did.
Newsflash, you didn't fix nothing. Oh, and remember when you said, we resigned Odell Beckham Jr. We didn't do that just to trade him. After 1 year, no, less than 1 year later, you traded him away. You know who you gave up or what you got back? Players that aren't even on the team anymore. They sucked when they were here, and then they left, and they succeeded. You know why? Because they had to deal with your ass. Excuse my language.
Mm-hmm.
You got Jabril Peppers. He's like average.
He was fine.
His production statistically declined when he came to the Giants.
Yeah.
Kevin Zeitler was terrible-ish. He left and he's pretty good now. We got freaking Dexter Lawrence, which is the only good thing we got from this Odell Beckham Jr. trade.
Right, but a really good defensive tackle doesn't equal a really good wide receiver.
Exactly. And the other pick that we got in that trade turned out to be O'Shane Ximines. You know where he is? In the freaking market. Because nobody wants him. He is a pass rush specialist. The man had 2 sacks in 2022. Didn't do
Yeah.
shit in 2023. If he was on a fucking team by then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and don't let me give you started. The fucking dead money they had to deal with, $16 million when they traded OBJ. At one point, they had to deal with $33 million in dead cap because Gettleman can't manage a team to save his life. And look, spare me the details, and I understand he had cancer. And honestly, that's I'm glad that he beat it, or whatever the case may be. Good for
Oh, of
him.
course,
Of course,
of course, everyone. But at
his
that
his
point,
yeah, that doesn't excuse your sorry managing of a team. Let's look at the drafts, for example. By the way, you
yeah,
wanted Saquon Barkley in 2018, and I read this yesterday. Teams wanted to trade up to get a quarterback at 2. Instead, you said, "Oh no, I want to stay so I can get a running back I could have gotten at 6." The freaking Colts had the 3rd pick. They traded with the Jets to go down to 6. You know who they got at number 6, Brian? Quentin Nelson.
yeah,
That would have solved the left guard issue right now.
yeah. I
And you
mean,
could
they'll not even take calls. Not even. They didn't even listen to offers. I
no,
don't even
not at
care.
all.
I don't even care if you're want to trade a pick or not. You always have the line open when you're that high up because
Exactly.
a team can get desperate and do something stupid.
Exactly. And you said, "Oh, say it's because Saquon's going to be a future Hall of Famer." Guess where guess what he's at right now? He's not going to be a freaking Hall of Famer.
Nope.
He was touched by the hand of God. You know what he was touched by? The injury hand. The man missed so many games for us. It's not even funny.
A God, not the right one. A
Yeah,
God touched him.
he freaking reached for Saquon, and I love the pick, obviously, but like from a reality standpoint, from an analytic standpoint, no, that was a terrible pick. And that's not all. He got Will Hernandez in the 2nd round. He freaking regressed. He's been regressing. Lorenzo Carter, gone. BJ Hill, gone in Cincinnati. He's average. Kyle Aletta lasted 1 year in the league, gone. RJ McIntosh, terrible, out of the league. No one knows who he is. Okay, fine. Maybe he does better in 2019. No. Daniel Jones, dog crap. Dexter Lawrence, sure. DeAndre Baker had an off-field issue that apparently Gettleman was like, "Oh no, it'll be fine." He's in the UFL for a reason.
Yeah.
O'Shane Jimenez barely did anything. Gone. Julian Love, he's in Seattle. He was average. Ryan Conley, remember he was hyped at one point? Gone. Darius Slayton wants a
All right.
contract extension.
I will. Ryan Conley tore his ACL.
Exactly.
Conley looked good in the Tampa Bay game, and then tore his ACL the next game, and he's just gonna never bounce back from that. So Conley, I give a pass to.
Okay, fair enough. Darius Slayton, number 1 receiver on the team.
Not saying much.
That's not saying much because his team stinks. Corey Ballantyne dealt with some gun stuff. Trash. George Asafo Adahi, who? Chris Slayton, gone. No one knows who he is. Okay, maybe 2020 is better. No. Andrew Thomas, sure. Xavier McKinney, gone. It was great, I guess. Sure. Matt Pert, he's a swing tackle. Useless other than that. Darnay Holmes, barely gets playing time when he does. He's not that great, especially in coverage. Shane Lemieux, he was trash. Cam Brown, nothing more than special teams. Carter Coughlin, terrible. TJ Brunson, gone. Chris Williamson, gone after 1 year in the league. Tate Crowder, special teams only. Played like 2 games as a starter. Almost but other than that, they made no impact. 2021, the worst fucking draft he ever did. Kadarius Toney, garbage. Azeez Ojulari, injury prone. Aaron Robinson, where the heck is he? I don't know. Ellison Smith, gone. Gary Brightwell, literally is going to get freaking cut by the training camp. Where Darius Williams, after 1 year in the league, gone. Didn't do crap when he was with the Giants.
Yeah. No, the only good part about 2021 was the trade. Even then, it's not looked out great because the trade started into Evan Neal.
Joe Shane had to freaking fix your fucking crap. Okay? He had to fix your shit. And you know what he did after less than his first year on the job, Gettleman? It took 1 year with a sorry Daniel Jones and a sorry offensive line. Made the freaking playoffs. Won a playoff game in 1 year, and you can do that shit for 4 years. So don't come with this bullshit about, what are these analysts are thinking? All these owners and GMs are listening. I tell you what, they know more than you.
Yeah, they really do. They do.
They could go 20-45 or 19-46.
Anyone could.
I could.
Anyone could. Like 2018, I think it's just like you said, 2021 is most horrific. But let's not forget he could have easily gone with the strategy of drafting a lineman and a running back. He could have traded back with the Colts at 6, got Nelson at 6, and then at 30 through 34, Nick Chubb. You think Quinn Nelson
There
and
you
Nick
go.
Chubb would have been way better for this team than Saquon Barkley and Will Hernandez?
Yeah. Heck, if you got
I
Saquon
know,
at
I know,
6, we wouldn't
I
have
know
this
it's a revisionist
conversation.
history. Yeah,
Like, it just, you could have gotten your running back at 6 and say you reach for him at 2. When you could have traded down, you could have got more picks that you could have just at other positions. Like you just mentioned, we could have got Glenn Nelson at 5 or 6, for example. I'm just saying, you could have got Nick Chubb in the second round or whatever running back that was available. That's solid in the second round or whatever the case may be. I don't know at the top of my list, top of my head, who are those guys. But the point is, you reach for a guy who was talented his rookie year, and after that, he just digressed. He's been just an average, okay running back that no one is like, oh, sure, people say, oh yeah, Saquon's a guy that can change a game, like that. He
not
hasn't
anymore.
been that, not anymore. After his rookie year, that was pretty much it for him. And you can,
Like last year was his best year since his rookie year, and there were several runs where I'm like, he's lost that step.
yeah, there's no
4 years ago,
explosiveness anymore.
exactly. He's just running now, and he's good, but there's no that extra gear isn't there that he had in college. Like if you watch his Penn State highlights, he got to that outside, and as soon as he got there, he was gone.
Mm-hmm.
He just kind of goes to the outside, and it's a 5-6 yard gain.
Yeah. And the fact that that was your second overall pick, that's why we're giving you so much criticism. If he was, if you traded down and got him at 6 overall, then we're talking about a different story. Because even though 4 picks down may not seem like a lot, it is from a value standpoint. You don't
The
draft.
quarterbacks
No
are
one
gone.
drafts. Yeah, no one drafts running back at second overall. Yet the Giants did that because they wanted to be out of the norm, and Gettleman wanted to look like he was smart. He was not, and his drafts have been terrible. They're out of the guys I mentioned. What, maybe at most 5 guys did have made a difference. 3 of them for sure, and Lawrence and Andrew Thomas and Xavier McKinney before he left. But everyone else has either been average or they've been terrible.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, for a guy that did all this,
and that was considered Gettleman's strong suit, by the way, was the draft.
yeah,
Considered what he was the best at, and he still wasn't good at it.
and he was supposed to fix the offensive line.
Hog mollies. Gotta bring those hog mollies in.
Yeah,
We're the hog mollies for 5 years. Never saw any.
like Joe Shane, he's fixed it. He's had to fix it on his own.
Smart. Yeah, he's bringing in he's realizing that he can't build anything through the draft. Signing these free agents, bringing in Tunyon and these tackles.
Mm-hmm.
Even fixing it from a coaching standpoint. Not having just because he's been in the organization for X amount of years. It's okay. This is going to be the best guy for us to win.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, Joe Shane, he's a real GM. He is someone that has made a difference. His last season was a mess, but obvious reasons. We won't dive into it too much. We know what happened last year that causes that big old mess. But he made the playoffs his first year, and that's why he still has the job now. And Joe Shane has had 2 solid drafts. Whether it's the Kayvon and Evan Neal drafts, this past draft with Malik Neighbors and Tyler Nubin,
even Dodger Baker's draft.
Yeah, so it's just I don't know. Gettleman just pissed me off when I
no, he does, and it comes from entitlement. It comes from the way he's talked down to the media and stuff. It's the same guy. It's a piece of crap.
100%. So, is what it is. Yeah, he can say what he wants, but for a guy who failed as a Giant GM, doesn't deserve to say a single word. So,
God no.
No, sir, indeed. Alrighty, we'll go to our second down. Now, second down is presented by Yeet Sunglasses. Use the code BELLYUPPOD for 10% off your order. Yeet Sunglasses use the best materials, affordable. Also, that's the most important thing, and they look extremely good. So shout out to Yeets for sponsoring our second segment known as Second Down. Alrighty, so we talked about the Giants. We're going to shift towards the NFL landscape as a whole and talk about rookie quarterback situations. It's been a week plus since the draft happened. We know about Caleb Williams and everything, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, all that stuff. But we haven't really, talked about the situations that they're in. We can say, yeah, Caleb Williams is the best quarterback, followed by Jaden Daniels, followed by Drake May,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But I don't think we've yet to analyze it from a situation perspective.
No, we've
So
not.
yeah, so we might as well just do that. I guess we'll start out with this. Who out of the it doesn't have to be the top six. It can be other quarterbacks that were chosen as well, like Spencer Rattler and Michael Pratt, who were chosen in the later rounds as well. Who is the number one quarterback on your list in terms of situation?
It's gonna shock everyone to say this, but I really think it's JJ McCarthy. I
Okay.
really think he's in the perfect situation with two great receivers in Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. TJ Hawkinson's a great tight end. He's gonna have a great offensive minded coach in Kevin O'Connell. He might be like even from a fantasy perspective, a sneaky guy like pick up on the waiver wire for like a bye week quarterback, and he gets you like 25 points because he can just throw. He just puts the ball right where he needs to go in three spots for Justin Jefferson to go off.
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Personally, for me, I have McCarthy at second. I have Caleb Williams at the top.
Second. Caleb Williams is second for me. I flipped them.
You could switch the two, and no one will blink an eye. Like they
No.
would understand.
They're 1A, 1B. It's that simple.
There you go. Exactly. I put Caleb at one, and you have him high on your list as well. It's as we know, because he enters a situation where offensive line is fine. They got DeAndre Swift in the backfield as well. Obviously DJ Moore is still there. Keenan Allen was brought in via trade this past offseason, and they got Rome Odunze, and they still have Cole Kmet. And even the coaching staff is a little questionable, led by Matt Eberflus.
Yeah,
it's not that bad.
That's what knocked it down for you. Just the Eberflus stuff is what kind of scary. But like, I'm excited to see. I think Kingsbury is in Washington.
That is correct.
Yeah, I forgot who the Bears OC is, but regardless.
Yeah,
Eberflus is a little scary.
Yeah, I understand. I love the fact that they have three legit wide receivers. They have a solid tight end in Kmet. That Williams enters a team that really there's no excuses for him not to succeed.
No.
Like he has three dangerous weapons. Moore has shown he's capable of handling his own. Keenan Allen has succeeded so many years in Los Angeles, and then you have Rome Odunze, who was great at Washington with Michael Penix Jr. We'll get into him in just a bit. But I really love Williams at one, and then McCarthy at two for me for the same reason you mentioned with Addison and Jefferson, who's going to get paid soon, by the way.
Yeah, no, he's going to get paid. So he's going to reset the receiver market again.
And then Hawkinson, and then in the backfield you have Aaron Jones and whatnot. The offensive line is good as well, and then Kevin O'Connell has been a pretty good coach for quite a few years now. So.
Yeah, they had Kirk Cousins for years. They just needed McCarthy to do what Kirk Cousins did. That's not a hard thing to ask, especially for his style of quarterback.
There you go. Who was number three on your quarterback list?
Three's where it's tough. I think I'm gonna go Jaden Daniels though.
Same here.
Because I like Kingsbury and his offense. I like him starting. There are weapons in Washington. Dan Quinn seems to be a real good coach. It's going to be great defense, but it's not really on him. He's just more of a leadership guy. I think he's going to be able to go in. He's going to be a starter from day one and really just be able to grow in that offense, especially when you're hitting, McLaurin all game. You should be fine.
Yeah, I know Washington, they added a few weapons in the draft. They added Benson, not the tight end from Kansas State. Obviously, McLaurin, like you mentioned, is still there in Washington. Yeah. So, and then the backfield, you have Austin Eckler, who's he looked kind of washed,
but he's still a good receiving back type guy. He might be a nice check down for screens, which is perfect for a young quarterback.
Oh, 100%. When you enter the NFL, having a running back who can do both run and catch the football, it's a good thing to have. That like a security blanket there. That's the word I was trying to find, per se. So you have Eckler and you have McLaurin. Jahan Dotson's pretty good himself. They drafted Luke McCaffrey, Christian McCaffrey's brother. He's going to be the wide receiver 3 out of the gate. So
wow. I don't know if I liked him at wide receiver 3. I definitely love him as a kickoff returner.
Yeah, I guess they have that much confidence in him because of that, according to the depth chart.
Wow.
I mean, the
Good for
guys.
him.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the guys behind him aren't that great. De'Ami Brown, Olamide Zaccheaus, Jameson Crowder. Kind of makes sense why McCaffrey would.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
So, yeah, no, I agree. J. Daniels at number 3 for me. Hopefully, he gets them off to a good start. I mean, as a Giants fan, obviously we don't want the Commanders to succeed, but for Jaden Daniels, he deserves a bright future. And yeah, he's number 3 on our list. Who's number 4 on yours?
So number 4, I think I'm gonna go with Michael Penix Jr. as a little bit of a surprise. I know he's behind Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
I'm just thinking from the aspect of if he's able to somehow get ahead of Kirk Cousins, he could succeed in that offense with the weapons around him.
Okay. I will go with where's Bo Nix? Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bo Nix. Number 4. He for me entering an offense, which by the way he's gonna be the day 1 starter. No way they put Jared Stidham out there again.
Yeah, Bo Nix is 5 for me too. So
yeah. So they're probably gonna go with that. Not only that though, Cortland Sutton's great. I know they lost Jerry Jeudy via trade this offseason, but Sutton's a good wide receiver number 1. He gets a team up with Troy Franklin, his college team at Oregon. I'm not sure if we talked about it last week, but I believe in the power of friendship a lot. All jokes aside, I love the college teammates, reuniting and whatnot. So
of course,
that was great to see.
other than
that, there you go. See,
I mean, like it's a very big example. You don't want to put that much pressure on them, but I'm just saying it has worked in the past.
There you go. Javonte Williams and then Audric Estime in the backfield. That's a good 1-2 punch back there. Offensive line, yeah, good. Garrett Bowles is good. Quinn Miners at right guard, he's solid as well. So, the Broncos offense doesn't look that bad to the point where it's like, they could do something. If, Bo Nix was statistically the best quarterback in 2023, completions percentage, Pro Football Focus grade, stuff like that. He was up there. He was one of, if not the best quarterback, that in terms of Pro Football Focus grade. So to me, I'll put Bo Nix at number 4. Who's number 5? Is it Nix as well, or is it someone else?
Yeah, I have Bo Nix. Bo Nix there at 5 for the reasons you just said.
Okay. At 5, I had Drake May. Because unfortunately the young man steps into a situation where there are no receivers outside.
Yeah, that's why I didn't even have him on the list. That's why. Because
really,
I didn't have him at 5 or in my top 5 because I knew that I don't. It's kind of hard with Kirk Cousins there, but if Penix were to start, there is enough surrounding there. We could succeed better than if Drake May being the day 1 starter in New England.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think for me it was just the receivers. Kendrick Bourne, Demario Douglas, Jalen Polk was a rookie, and he wasn't really a notable guy.
I mean, he's interesting. He was kind of overshadowed by Doomsday. It kind of was like a Chase Jefferson thing. Not that I'm saying he's going to be like Jefferson, but just a little overshadowed, probably a little underrated. But I still need to see him on the field before I'm ready to dub this guy a good receiver.
Exactly. And then they had KJ Osborne and they still have Juju Smith-Schuster, but I mean, just the offense as a whole, it just
I like KJ Osborne, but no more than a 3.
Plus, his blind side is gonna be taken care of by Chukwuma Okorafor, and there's a reason why no one's really heard of him because Trent Brown used to be the left tackle. Now he's left. He left. So. Yeah, good luck, May. I'll tell you that much. And then I have Michael Penix at 6 because he's stuck behind Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
He'll succeed though when he plays.
When he plays.
How high would you give a probability of him not taking a snap for Atlanta?
I say 45.
Damn, it's pretty high. Yeah, I mean, I think it's realistic that he doesn't take a snap, that he demands a trade.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Falcons want to start him, but I think they're going to be pushed into between a hard place a lot faster than they think because of his age. He's going to want to be on the field. Yeah,
they want to start him. And then, maybe don't sign a quarterback to $100 million contract guaranteed.
Yeah.
So,
Or you tell the quarterback first that you're planning on drafting one so we can maybe go somewhere else.
yeah, maybe prepare ourselves. Yeah, good job, front
Yeah.
office.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Arthur's blank or
He's
whatever.
such a nice guy, and like I feel so bad for him because like he's one of the few owners in this league that genuinely like cares about the fan experience. He keeps concession prices low because he wants families to come to games. Like we need more owners like Arthur Smith in sports. We just need them to be more confident at hiring football people because if the Falcons were ever good, they would be probably one of the best tickets in the country. Go watch a good football team, eat cheap food, not pay millions upon end and parking and all this other stupid stuff. Like, I think burgers there for like $4. Burger at MetLife's like
Damn.
10. Like, no, it's like I don't know if it's that cheap, but it's like cheap.
Affordable.
It's very affordable.
See, that's why Atlanta has it going. Unlike New York, they've been overcharging us for food and stuff. Come on, guys.
And look, you always know there's gonna be more overcharge in New York, but like MetLife's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, we keep it reasonable.
Yeah, keep it reasonable. Like, yeah, I'm fine paying a little extra because I'm sitting, in MetLife Stadium right now. I'm fine paying, instead of this beer's probably cost $8, I'm fine paying 10 for it because I'm paying for the I'm paying for the atmosphere of it too. Having a beer in the stadium is what I'm paying for, not just a beer on my couch.
There you go. Do we see Spencer Rattler on this list by any chance? On terms of rankings, or do you feel like it's undecided right now?
Undecided right now. I feel like Pratt and Spencer Rattler are both undecided. You probably put May at 6 for me, and Rattler 7 because I don't think he's going to see the field anytime soon.
Who's your starter? Oh, Derek Carr. But Taysom Hill can kiss his job goodbye. He can just
finally.
He should go to tight end completely.
They need to study Taysom Hill. The way he's been able to like snake oil salesman his way to an NFL career is insane. Because he's not exactly good at anything. He's just suck at everything.
He's old too, 33 years old.
I know, but he's made like a very good living for himself.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. This man's he'll be 34 when the season starts. So
yeah, there's a time that people thought that Taysom Hill was the future. There would be more Taysom Hills popping up. And don't forget, when the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts, that was the original plan. There was never the plan for Jalen Hurts to be the starter. It was going to be he was going to take on a Taysom Hill type role with Carson Wentz, and then Wentz ultimately ended up being horrible. They just threw Hurts back there because why not? And then Hurts proved himself. But original draft says that Jalen Hurts could be a Taysom Hill 2.0.
Sometimes he just, things
work out differently sometimes.
Things work out differently, yeah.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see with these rookie quarterbacks, man. Hopefully they get out to a good start in their careers. Caleb, Drake, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Michael Penix. Did I forget someone else? No, that was it. Caleb, Drake, Jaden, and Penix, Nix. Yeah, sure. We go to third down now, our third segment of the day, presented by our good old friends at Righteous Felon Jerky. Use the code BELLYUP for 15% off your order. Great snacks to have in your pantry. Delicious jerky made from the best ingredients out there. Shout out to them for sponsoring our third segment known as Third Down. All right, final segment. Winners and losers from the Giants off-season decisions. The Giants are pretty much done. It seems like with their roster, now it's just a matter of just, training and practices. And, there's not a lot of notable free agents out there. I know obviously there's positions the Giants need to address before the season begins, more notably on the defensive side of the ball, because the cornerback position is a bit shaky, despite the fact that the Giants drafted Andre Phillips, but we won't dive into that too much. Brian, do you have anyone possibly on your winners list to start in terms of anyone on the Giants that benefited from the offseason?
I think the biggest winner is Kayvon Thibodeau, finally paying him up with a real pass rusher that NFL defenses have to, kind of counter, because all the pressure is going to go onto Burns, no longer making Thibodeau the man they, watch and film for, leaving him open, leaving him for more sacks. So I like that, Brian Burns is going to be a very good player, but he's also the distraction to allow Kayvon Thibodeau to grow his game.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, Burns on one side will allow, Thibodeau to get more opportunities to get into the quarterback, and also benefit Dexter Lawrence to an extent
Yeah,
up the middle. So this defense,
the
it
entire
looks
defensive line. Yeah.
scary. Who else do you got for me?
Let's see. Another winner would be I'm gonna go Jalen Hyatt and Wan'Dale Robinson.
Okay.
I think, similar to Kayvon Thibodeau, having a guy like Malik Neighbors is going to take the pressure off of Hyatt to perform well. So he's going to be able to do more what he wants to do, which is, run the ball deep. I think Robinson now can slide over finally into that slot position and be where he naturally should be. That's where he's supposed to be. That's what fits him the best. He can finally be the player he wants to be.
Fair enough. I think you took the two of my winners actually. But I mean, hey, that's why we're in a podcast together. We got similar minds, my guy.
Exactly. Of course.
Another guy I have for the winners list, Daniel Jones. It seems pretty obvious. They didn't, get his replacement in the draft. He finally has a wide receiver number one. This is officially the best receiver core he's ever had. A better offensive line. Also, like the receivers, this is the best it's ever been. And then, Drew Lock and Tommy DeVito, as much as we've talked about it last week with Drew Lock being the QB1, they aren't as much of a threat as many, people think they are in terms of the starting job. So he's one of the winners for me. And then defensive coordinator Shane Bowen. This defense looked kind of shaky heading to the draft. They got Tyler Nubin at safety, so that's a McKinney replacement right away. Andrew Phillips, the corner from Kentucky, yes, mostly a slot guy, but he is a pretty good corner in himself. So, and he gets a defense with Kayvon Thibodeau, and then you mentioned Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence and all that stuff. So, he's one of the winners from the offseason as well. What about losers? Is there a particular loser of the Giants in terms of their offseason?
So, I think Azeez Ojulari is a big loser in this one, because I think when the Giants drafted him, there was this idea that he was going to be kind of like the main pass rusher. Like, I remember when the Giants drafted him, he was like, "Oh my God, this is a steal. This is a pass rusher for the next 10 years. The Giants found a guy. This is the next, him and Kayvon Thibodeau will be the next Justin Tuck, Michael Strahan, Justin Tuck, Uzi Ojulari, Osi Wow, I can't say his name. Osi. I'm not gonna say Osi. You know what I'm talking about.
Nguyen, yeah.
Nguyen, yes, Osi Nguyen. That's what Osi Ojulari was originally brought in here, and for injury, just have never allowed him to be that guy. So the Giants have finally got his replacement, and now he's basically sitting on himself as a depth player, potentially a trade candidate to cut guy in camp this year if he struggles again.
Oh, pretty much, yeah. Yes, it is kind of unfortunate, but at the same time, keeping him on the roster for this season in particular, it will help the defense. It's just a matter of him how much playing time he'll get. And then you mentioned the injury history; that doesn't really help out his cause whatsoever. I have a similar player on the offensive side of the ball, Darren Waller.
Oh yeah, he was one of mine too.
Yeah, Giants approached the offseason once the news broke out about him. They approached it as if he wasn't going to come back. They got Jack Stoll from the Eagles, Chris Manhertz, who was formerly a Denver Bronco. They drafted Theo Johnson, the tight end from Penn State. Their belief
Bellinger
in
on the roster.
Exactly. So at that point, it's like, if you really don't, and if you do come back, if you somehow stink up the joint, Bellinger and Johnson are right there to take your job.
Yeah, exactly.
But more importantly,
you have so many people over your shoulder looking at you. It's like, I can't mess up.
And more importantly, it's like the fact that you haven't really shown much communication with the Giants.
No.
Kelsey Plum actually came out, had an interview with someone from, I think, ESPN or whatever the case may be, for the upcoming WNBA season, and talked about how she's coming back stronger than ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If she's saying stuff, if she's saying I'm ready for the season and all that stuff, and he's not saying nothing,
yeah,
it may not mean something. It may not mean like a lot, but for Kelsey to come out and say she's ready to go, maybe he did something wrong.
Yeah. It's good. The way she's kind of like motivating herself and hyping herself up in the media makes you makes you assume some things about what might have happened.
She's handling it better compared to what he is. So
Yes. Mm-hmm.
he's one of the losers.
And it also could just be the way Waller handles it. Everyone handles stuff differently. Waller might be a guy that like just kind of wants to go off. That's okay. So I'm just saying, like, from publicly, you don't look in the best light here, buddy.
100%. So we'll see. He's definitely one of the losers, regardless of the offseason moves that Giants made. Another guy is Darius Slayton. You draft.
Yeah.
He's not much of a loser, but you draft Malik Neighbors. He's got the wide receiver number 1, and you're over here talking about contract extension. If let's face it, buddy, you may be the wide receiver 4 with how Wandale and Hyatt are supposed to play or develop. So
yeah.
I think, especially with the Neighbors draft, there's not much of a need for it. It'll be nice to have him as a wide receiver 2, but it's not really necessary.
No. He might be a good trade candidate, like especially if some guy gets hurt in camp. Like I could see the Giants immediately sending him to somebody as a depth move.
100%. Evan Neal, one of the losers as well. I feel like the Giants, they got Germinaro, the right tackle from the Raiders. They also got Aaron Stinnie, the left guard of the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So the pressure's there. If he doesn't perform at right tackle, he could shift to guard like we've been talking about. But at the same time, Aaron Stinnie isn't a bum. Like Stinnie is pretty solid. So he's gonna have to step up as well.
To make or break year for Neal, because I think the Giants are tired of waiting.
Yeah,
no, we want to go.
You were the 7th overall pick. Let's get it going.
Yeah, really. Let's go.
2 more losers for me. Eric Gray. I feel like he's one of the losers. He was a rookie last year. You would think he would get more playing time this year. That kind of changed with Tyron Tracy being drafted. Devin Singletary, obviously going to be the main guy out of that committee. So I feel like he's one of the losers. Not crazy loser, but he is.
I think he's to be given a shot at camp, though. I think him and John we have a similar chance to get that RB2 job.
If I had to choose, I would probably choose Tracy though, because of his.
I would too. I think I would lean Tracy too, but I think if Gray can have a big preseason, I don't see a reason why he's not RB2.
Yeah, there you go. And then finally, Mike what the heck? Brian Dable and Mike Kafka, they're losers. And I mean this because they didn't get their guy, if you know what I mean. They didn't get their
I got it. So, yes, I understand. Yep.
I would think they would get their guy at the most important position in football.
I think they wanted to. I just don't think their guy was available. I think their guy was Drake May. The Patriots which wouldn't budge at 3. The Giants offered 3 first-round picks for it. All right, that's very clearly they were desperate for that quarterback.
Yeah, true. At the end of the day, though, I think that's kind of the main reason why they're losers, because they just didn't. Even though they tried to get him, they couldn't, and that's
why. I get that. I'm giving them a pass because I think they did. I just don't think they could.
It sucks though, because they were looking forward to it, and it's like now if it's another down year, their jobs are definitely on the line.
Yeah,
but like
it's just pressure for no reason. It's just like, come on, guys! Like you wish you could have just got us last year.
It's okay, but other than that, any other losers for you?
Not really. I don't think so. I mean, maybe Daniel Jones to an extent because he finally has like a real competition behind him in Drew Lock and Tommy DeVito. And if he struggles, like the fans, I think he's lost almost every like ally he has in the fan base. And I think like if week 1 he's struggling, I think the calls for Lock and Tommy Cutlett's going to be loud and fast. I think a bad first drive could get some fans looking for the backups.
There you go. Shall we go for it on 4th down, my good sir?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, we're going for our 4th down. Let's go. Let's bring it back, baby. Weddle. Woohoo! All right. As you guys know, Weddle's when we get the player of the day. No further questions needed. Brian, give me a player. Let's knock this out before we get off for the day.
Let's go with
Courtland Sutton. Okay. All right. Courtland Sutton is not it, but the player of the day is either 27 or 26 years old. He is under 6'4". He's either a running back, tight end, or quarterback, and plays in the AFC. Under 6'4". So he's either 6'1", 6 foot. maybe running back 27 or 26. Who is number 27?
Ramondre Stevenson.
Ramondre Stevenson. Let's see how he may be in that age range. Ooh, he's a running back for sure. He's 27 years old. He's either 6'1" or 6'2". Plays in the
He plays
AFC. Under his jersey number is under 38.
okay, under 38 jersey number. AFC North or AFC South. Over 6 foot. Running back. I'm trying to think of a starting running backs right now.
Could be Chubb, just to get the division.
Yeah, try Chubb.
Ooh, okay. So for
South.
sure, AFC South. He's 6'1" for sure. 27 years old.
Yeah, 27. ETM's too young. How old is
Taylor?
Jonathan Taylor? How old is Taylor?
Good question. Maybe it's worth. I mean, we'll get the division for sure, obviously, but maybe it's him. He is not him, but he wears the number 28.
28.
Indy.
running. Taylor. It's on Indy, so 28 on the
Jags. No, Texans.
They wouldn't do Joe Mixon, right? He's not 28 on Texans now, is he?
Mixon on the Texans.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. Let me see. Hey, nice, attaboy, hell yeah, woo! Joe Mixon, the player of the day, the Houston Texans running back. I didn't think of it. I forgot he went there from Cincinnati this offseason. So Joe Mixon is the player of the day. And with that being said, that will do it for episode 8 of the 3rd and 10 podcast. We appreciate you guys always for listening and watching to us. Our channel has grown a lot of these past few weeks, views and comments. We love you guys that you're coming to the videos and dropping them. And, we appreciate, the support and everything like that. I will say, Brian, the support we've been getting, it's very, very helpful, very motivating.
Very, very motivating.
Pushes us to do our best with every episode. And, we will continue. I know in the past we've talked about consistency on my part, and just to see our audience continue to support us has pushed me every day to continue to pump out clips and content and stuff like that. So, obviously a big thank you to you. As always, very grateful to have you as my co-host, my guy.
Thank you. Yeah,
yes,
you
sir.
too.
And before we go, finals week so you're done with finals now. It's just a matter of.
I'm just basically just relaxing. It's called senior week. It's your one last hurrah with your friends before you all graduate.
Okay,
so that's what we're doing. Just kind of chilling. We got casino night tomorrow. We're gonna go some movies on Wednesday. We got a boat ride on Thursday. So should have some fun.
Boat ride per se, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, don't be OJ now. OBJ now.
Oh no pictures. No pictures on the boat. No pictures.
Regardless, buddy, you be safe, please. Hopefully see you Thursday. And we will see you. We'll hopefully see you guys on Thursday for episode 9 of the 3rd and 10 podcast. Check out our previous episodes, including one with a special guest of mine from the Hyperspeed Technologies company. You'll find it. It's episode 7 of the podcast, so check that out there. But other than that, we'll see you guys on Thursday. Thank you so much as always for your support. Thank you to SeatGeek, thank you to Righteous Felon Jerky, thank you to Jeet Sunglasses, thank you to BELLYUP Sports for allowing us this platform. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much. Have a